It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you will call to serve. On this episode, we have the one and only Brian K. Ramey. He's in the building, and he'll be talking about why vision fails, and what to do about it. What's going on, Brian? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and not to do a correction, but it's Brian K. Ramey.
Oh, no Rainey. Okay, I need my glasses. Rainey, thank you so much for correcting me. I appreciate that. No, we want to get that right, man. Thank you so much. And shout out to Brenda for connecting us, by the way. And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, because without you, well, we don't have a show. So thanks for showing up, by the way. Before we get started, I know some of you might know how famous the guy is already. You might have already Googled him and looked him up. But the burning question has to be, why are people struggling these days, even with vision? They've got AI. So you should be able to go to AI and say, hey, this is what I need today. And it just gives them a vision. So why are people struggling to have a vision that helps them succeed these days?
The clear answer is alignment. We have an alignment. And I know everybody likes to use a 10-cent word or a 25-cent word, but it really comes down to alignment. And that's one of the things that I teach on a lot is your alignment out of balance. So when I'm training or when I'm talking to leadership, is your message clear? Is your communication clear? Are you in alignment? Because from top down to the bottom, what I have found is that there's a communication breakdown or a barrier. And I know a lot of people teach about this and a lot of people communicate about this. But what I do is I really focus in, why are we missing the alignment? And why is communication different by the times it trickles down? So as an entrepreneur, maybe your vision and your alignment when you're on Chat GPT, you're not really asking the right questions. You're asking for a question answer. And I believe you need to dig deeper. You need to focus on going deeper within yourself and asking those critical questions. What message am I really delivering? It is in alignment with me, or is it in alignment with what other people are doing? So there's some of the key areas for the single entrepreneur or the corporations. So I don't know if that answers the question, but it's really an alignment issue. And that's what I do. A lot of people refer to me as a tactical catalyst. I've gained that name because of how I look at things tactically. And I've often been given the name, I have the 50,000 foot view when I talk to entrepreneurs and businesses. Is I really take a look at the top down, and I'm able to really focus and hone in on specific areas that need to be filled. There are holes, and we need to look at how to fill them. So that's what I do, is the tactical.
Well said. And what's the biggest mistake you feel that leaders make, and you can call them entrepreneurs, but let's say leaders make, when they feel like their team gets the vision, but the results are showing something different? Because we have a number of folks who are watching. Some folks on here are entrepreneurs. We have other folks that are dualpreneurs, right? They work a full-time job and they're a full-time entrepreneur, but they lead an organization or they lead a team. And so the question specifically is, what's the biggest mistake that leaders make in thinking their team gets the vision when in fact the results show they don't have the vision?
I think expectations are set in stone, and we like to provide what we call that open door policy, when we all know it's open door if you say what I want to hear. And so when we're trailing, we don't think about the subordinates below us or the peers alongside of us. We just like to communicate something that we think is in alignment with the overall business, but we really haven't gathered enough information where there's friction. So, and this, what I teach, really replaces frictions. It stops the stall. It opens the communication barriers up. So I think a lot of times, so that's kind of a long answer to your short question. I think their communication and their actual, what they believe their expectations aren't met. And they're not
I
clear.
love it. And for those folks that are meeting you for the first time, somebody saying, Shay, I didn't get a chance to go read the guy's bio, but they might be in the kitchen cooking right now saying, but I like what I'm hearing. I like this 50,000 foot view. I like the idea of make sure the vision is in line with what I want to happen. But I don't know him. I haven't read his bio. And someone else might be listening to us in the podcast. Thank you if you are, by the way. We're in your ears right now. Maybe you're cruising down the road or you're at the gym. Take a moment if you can. And I guess the question specifically is, who are you? I know it's a crazy question because people all over the world probably know who you are, but somebody doesn't. So what's your backstory and what's the journey that led you to doing what you're doing now?
Well, a lot of people don't like me to say this, but I'm just an old country kid, really. I grew up on a farm, not a big farm, but I grew up in rural America. And what happened is I saw imperfections even at a young age in how we do business. And so I started questioning that. And my parents taught me to question the systems that were in place. So who am I? I am a person that will question your systems. I will look at your operations. I am a person that has delivered the startup companies, taken them to their glory, or the problem companies that were basically out of balance, and I corrected their path. I've done this all my career. I started doing it at an age of 21, and I'm in my late 50s, and that's what I do. That's who I am. I don't have all these specialized degrees. I do have an honorary doctorate, but what it really comes down to, I'm a people person, and I recognize and I listen to what's being said, because I think that's one of the critical areas that we really miss. We miss on the listening. We want to talk a lot, but we don't want to listen. And I think that's key. So me, that's the reason why people call me the tactical catalyst, is I listen and I'm tactical on how I approach things. So my bio, that's the best way. I don't know if that's the right way, but that's the best way I can look at it.
I love it. So if someone is listening right now and says, you know what, Shay, I've been stuck. We'll come to all of you folks who are doing really, really well and you're ready to go to the next level. Don't worry. He's going to have a word for you. But for the person saying, man, I'm stuck right now, what's one thing that I can do to start moving towards alignment? Is there a self-check or is there questions that Brian asked himself? So the question specifically is, what should the entrepreneur do that's watching right now that's just feeling stuck? And I know it's kind of an unfair question because people are different places and different levels. But in general, what's 1, 2, or 3 things that someone can do to move from being stuck to being unstuck so they can be in alignment with their vision?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because in 2023, I was stuck. I'm a father of 3, a single father, and my last one went to college in 2023. And I really didn't know who I was because my identity was in as a father and taking care of my children and making sure they were on the proper road. But I was stuck, and therefore I was stuck in business because I didn't really know how to progress. And what I had to do is I had to get quiet first within myself. I know that's a cliche. A lot of people say, well, you need to just calm yourself down and you got to get in a quiet room. But that's what I really did is I got quiet and I started writing things down. And what it did for me is it allowed things to illuminate to me just because I'm naturally a person that goes in first and I start digging down deep in within inside myself and I critically analyze myself. So I hold myself accountable because I think that's one of the key problems with a lot of people, Shay, is they don't really critically analyze themselves. But on the same token, here's one thing. There was a book I read, Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It's called The Gap in the Game. We live in a philosophy, most of us do that are entrepreneurs, that I set a goal, I don't hit the goal, I'm terrible. I can't believe this happened. Whereas the gain, that's called the gap, where the gain is you got to celebrate your journey, the steps in every journey. It doesn't matter if I just picked up the phone today because I was in a really bad place and I made a phone call. That's a gain, and we need to celebrate that. And that book really allowed me to look at some energy within myself where I was at. So the one thing that I can tell you is start celebrating your wins. Doesn't matter how small, doesn't matter how large. You need to celebrate the journey.
Celebrate your journey. I love it. And you know, your phrase tactical catalyst. You talked about it a little earlier. Break down a definition. What does tactical mean to you? Because it means different things to different people. So when you say tactical, what does that mean and what does that look like? And then compare that to the catalyst. I know you say you take the 50,000 foot view, but break it down for the person who's watching and listening right now saying, I like it. But how does that apply to me?
So on the tactical side, I tend to step back first, look at everything, observe where I'm at, and then I critically analyze myself at that point. So I'm tactical in observing everything around me and observing, like in a business, when you look at your profit and loss statement, or you're looking at, I'm looking to generate leads in this certain way, or I'm looking at my communication be this way. I really start to dig deep down in how I'm communicating with people, where the holes would be. So I start to form this tactical method or a system. And then when I implement it, that's the catalyst part. I implement that into what I do. And that's what I've teach people. Here recently, I've had the opportunity to take some people that were selling a product, not doing really well at it. I changed some of the words and some of the communication. And all of a sudden, it took off like wildfire. So I was tactical in reviewing what they were doing, reviewing their communication, and then I offered things, and it was a catalyst to get them to move up the ladder, and ended up selling more than they had ever thought that they would. And that was just in the sales training side.
Wow, you seem to really enjoy what you're doing. I mean, you get more and more passionate as you talk about it. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? You seem to be having a lot of fun.
I love people helping people scale. So if you take a one-person entrepreneur, they've got a product, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with that product and who to sell it to. I like sitting down and actually having a in-depth conversation with them and breaking it down. That's the tactical side. And then I show them ways that they can move it. But I also enjoy the large companies, because when you deal with them as well, there's a lot of moving objects in there. And so when I observe, it really helps me to see where they're at first and then show them the pathway. So here's one thing Brenda always tells everybody, and I'll just tell everybody here. She says, Brian is the guy that you're not really going to like in the beginning, but you'll love him in the end. Because what I do is I show the pathway, and several pathways that you can take. It's up to you whether you want to move forward, but I can show you the pathways.
I like that.
I enjoy around people and helping people. And I know a lot of people use that, Shay. They say, oh, I love helping people. No, it gives me passion to really see people win. Because I look at every step as a win.
Every step is important along this journey. And that leads to another question I love to ask. And it's called, Today is my January 1st. And this is one of our segments. For those folks who tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's a good transition. You know what I'm about to do, right? You can even say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you. Almost literally, depending on when you see this, by the way. But today is my January 1st. For all the new folks who are watching for the very first time, I know, what is Shay talking about? Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or how bright and sunny that past is back there, the past really no longer equals the future. And so my question for Brian on the other side is really twofold. Number one, when was another or setback, a challenge he had in his life or business, and how was he able to overcome it? And number two, just when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you even hear? What goes through your mind?
Actually, I believe every day is a January 1st. Every day is full of opportunities. The past is what I call the rearview mirror. If you continue to look in the rearview mirror, yeah, it could teach you some things, but you need to look at your front windshield, because that's the biggest in a car. The rearview mirror is small. So to me, and this may sound like a cliche, but I'm telling you right now, every day in reality is January 1st because we're only given one day, and make that day the best journey you can make it. Thrive for that. Enjoy that one day journey. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, spot on. And what was the time that you had a setback in your life, and how did you bounce back from it?
That was 2023.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
that thing that I brought up to you. I did not tell you, I did not know who I was any
Yeah.
longer. My validation came through as I was a father first, business second.
So
I didn't know who I was.
how do you enjoy being an empty nester now? I'm also empty nester, by the way. So I get it. I just want to know how you're enjoying it. I mean, you only have to cook one meal or two meals, whatever it is for you these days. How does that even feel?
It feels fantastic, but really for me before that, because I was, I'm obviously still a father, but for 28 years, because I have three sons, I've been a dad monitoring. Guess what? I got my time back. That's the biggest thing I can be straightforward with. My time is my time now. And I
Yeah.
enjoy my time. And I can go create where I didn't have those liberties before.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
doesn't mean so I want to make sure that I bring this into context here.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean if you got kids at home that you can't enjoy that journey with those kids too, or that you don't have the freedom. You do. It's how you want to manage that time and that freedom and dedication. And sometimes, like when I was talking about alignment, we're in an imbalance. And for the longest time, Shay, I was in imbalance in that system.
Yeah.
I felt guilty. I felt guilty. Even up to the point of 2023 when the empty nest actually happened, I still felt guilty. And it took me probably about 90 to 120 days to just do some self-reflecting and writing things down. And I think we miss that so much. We don't write things down. And a lot of people say it's journaling. It wasn't journaling for me. I just wrote down what was in my brain. And
Yeah.
I had to get it on
Yeah.
paper so I could actually look at it and see it through a different lens.
We'll wait until they don't come home after college. I'm joking. At least when they go to
Oh,
college,
I
come home every
don't want to
semester,
worry
they
about
might come back to the house. You're like, wait till they're like, I'm gone. I'm moved to another state. I mean, okay, I don't want to. This has nothing to do with that. I just couldn't resist that.
Three of them did. They all three did that. They went to a whole different state, which is
I know.
beautiful.
You're like, are you ever going to call me? You call me, you want some money. You going to call me for anything else? No, I'm joking. We love our kids, but if you have children that are grown, they get more expensive as they get grown. But in all seriousness, let me get back to our regularly scheduled program here. One of my favorite questions I love to ask is, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? And I'll frame it for the audience, just so they know you've had years, you probably had a lot of mentors along this journey of life. You probably read more books than you can remember. I'm sure you watched more videos. Who can remember all the videos and trainings they have? But if you had to step back and say, wow, here's some advice that was given to me, Shay, that I want to pass on to the audience, what would it be and why?
Enjoy the journey. Because for the longest time, Shay, I did not. Now I'm enjoying the journey. And I've had people tell me that. I just wasn't ready to receive it. Enjoy the journey. And the reason why is every day you'll have the opportunity, or every minute, every hour, you're going to have an opportunity to enjoy something. Even setbacks can be part of a good journey, or a great journey, or a fantastic journey. Enjoy the journey, because time is one thing, is an expense. It is. Once you've clocked that time card on your time, it's gone. You get it back. You might as well enjoy that journey.
Yeah. Says so well. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing? Well, I already asked that question. What you enjoy most about what you're doing, but what does success look like for you? Let me ask that question, because you talked about being a tactical catalyst, talk about helping other folks, and you enjoy working with people. But when you look back at where you are now in your business, what does success look like for you? What does it feel like these days?
Well, I can tell you, success at 21 is far different than success at 58.
You ain't lying.
The measuring sticks are way different. And The timelines are way different. So success to me back then was accumulation. Now success to me now is my time freedom. Money will come and go. I've lost money, I've gained money, but it will come and go. It can be made again. But success for me is getting back my time and enjoying my time and enjoying the journey. And I know that sounds real like kumbaya or whatever you want to say, but it truly, for me, if whatever I'm doing does not bring me peace and joy now, I'm not going to do it. I can make that decision.
Love it. What do you do for fun these days when you're not out saving the world, being tactical for everybody else? What does fun look like for you?
Golfing. I love to golf. I'm an ex-athlete, not on a professional level, but I played sports all my life. But because of the physical sports that I've played, it beat my body up pretty well. And so some things that I used to love to enjoy doing, like playing softball or pick up football or basketball, I no longer can do some of those things because, quite frankly, some of my joints won't allow me to, like a bad knee. So I enjoy golf. I enjoy listening to music. Those are my things. And I love
How
to
cool
sing
is
too.
that?
I sing too, so I love to sing.
We're not going to ask you to sing. We're not going to ask him to do, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. He's ready to go. He's like, cue me up a cappella, Shay. No.
I'm a tenor, man. I'm a tenor, so I can get up there, so that's okay.
I couldn't resist that. As we come down the home stretch, two-part question. Number one, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days, if any? And number two, how can folks best connect with you if they want to stay in this conversation over and beyond the day? Where should they go? What's the website? What should they do?
Okay. So number one, there's no small client. There's no large client. We're all people I just look to help people. But one of the great things I'm just really good at scaling people and observing businesses and putting operations and systems together. So the perfect client to me is actually somebody who wants to listen and work together and collaborate together to grow. Whatever growth means to them, it's not what it means to me, it's what that means to them. So that one is highly critical. The other thing is I work with Brenda also on becoming the better you. And that's one of the things that we do with a lot of companies as well. So we collaborate together and we bring organizations in. So I work with Becoming the Better You. And that's a place you can find me at. If you go to www.comechangeyourlife.com, you'll see me on there. Or you can go www.brian with an I, not a Y, brianramey.com, RAMEY. That's the best places you can reach me. And I'd love just to have a conversation because that's really where the first step starts. Kind of like what we're doing today. I didn't know you, Shay. You didn't know me. We're just having a conversation. And I think that's critical. I think we don't have enough conversations, personally. Yeah. I think we look at the end within mind, but we don't have a conversation up front to determine if the end's even realistic or maybe you're shortchanging yourself.
Well said. Let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, man. I know you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So you're giving us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, well, we wouldn't have a show, by the way. So thanks for showing up. We appreciate it. And I always like to remind you, every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, by the way, whether you're doing really, really well, and it's just that next level of success, you're climbing as fast as you can, or you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. That being said, my name is Shay Brown. Brian and I, we're out. We'll see y'all on the other side. Peace, everybody.